Holidays are supposed to be the happiest time of the year, right? Sparkling lights, festive music, joyful gatherings. But for some people, the mere thought of the season brings tension, dread, or even outright anxiety. If you've ever felt a pit in your stomach when a holiday approaches, or noticed yourself scrolling past cheerful posts on social media with a mix of irritation and isolation, you're not alone. Millions of people quietly hate holidays, and today we're going to explore why. We'll dive into the psychology, the hidden emotional triggers, and even the ways you can reclaim peace during these supposedly joyful times. By the end, you'll understand the mind of someone who dislikes holidays and maybe see your own feelings reflected in a whole new light. At first glance, it seems simple. Holidays equal celebration. But for many, the first emotion that comes to mind isn't excitement, it's pressure. From the moment the calendar flips, invisible expectations land like weights on the shoulders. You're expected to socialize, buy gifts, host meals, and perform joy, even if your emotional tank is empty. For some, this pressure triggers anxiety. They may worry they won't measure up, that their home won't be festive enough, or that they'll offend someone with the wrong choice of gift. The brain reads these social obligations as potential threats, and the body responds with stress. For introverts, neurodivergent individuals, or those sensitive to overstimulation, these expectations can feel suffocating. It's not that they dislike people, it's that the system is overloaded before the celebrations even begin. Beyond expectation, holidays are deeply tied to memories. For some, these memories are bittersweet, painful, or filled with conflict. Childhood holidays that never matched the magical images in movies and ads can leave lingering emotional scars. Even as adults, revisiting traditions can awaken those old wounds. A smell, a song, or a flashing decoration can trigger long-buried feelings of disappointment, loneliness, or grief. And when society insists, be joyful, it's the season of happiness, those who feel differently may internalize shame or guilt. This dissonance between expected joy and actual feelings creates internal tension, making holidays not just unpleasant, but psychologically complex. For many people, holidays disrupt established routines. Daily schedules, sleep patterns, and familiar environments are replaced with unplanned events, extended social interaction, and sensory overload. Music blaring, crowds bustling, smells of food and flashing lights all compete for attention. For someone who thrives on predictability, this can create fatigue and irritability. The brain is constantly trying to process heightened stimuli, leaving emotional reserves depleted. In essence, holidays amplify mental strain simply by breaking structure. Some people learn to dislike the season because their nervous system signals too much, too fast, too bright. Holidays can also magnify what's missing. Seeing families gathered, couples sharing moments, and social media posts of perfect celebrations can intensify loneliness or feelings of inadequacy. Social comparison activates the brain's reward and threat circuits simultaneously. Seeing others happy can spark envy or sadness rather than joy. For someone grieving a loss, estranged from family, or dealing with depression, holidays serve as a reminder of absence. The more society celebrates, the more amplified these feelings become. Another reason people dislike holidays is emotional labor. Being around family or friends often requires performing energy, positivity, or attention that doesn't feel authentic. For some, pretending to enjoy activities, maintaining politeness, or smoothing over tensions becomes exhausting. The emotional labor is invisible to others, but highly taxing to the individual. Over time, this effort conditions a dislike of holidays. They're not rejecting people, they're defending their own emotional resources. Modern holidays often emphasize materialism, gifts, decorations, travel, and social media content. For people who value authenticity over performance, these artificial signals can feel draining or even shallow. It's not the holiday itself that is the problem, but the version society promotes. The brain recognizes incongruence between desired experience and imposed expectations, producing frustration or cynicism. Financial pressures further intensify holiday stress. Travel, gifts, meals, decorations all add up. For someone struggling financially, this can trigger anxiety or shame. Even subtle cues like gift-giving norms or holiday advertisements can activate the brain's threat response, producing physical tension and worry. Over time, the association between holidays and stress conditions a dislike for the season. For many, the anticipation of holidays is worse than the events themselves. Expecting conflict, disappointment, or overstimulation can lead to preemptive withdrawal. The brain, highly tuned to predict outcomes, interprets prior negative experiences as a signal to avoid. This results in emotional distancing before the holiday even arrives, conditioning avoidance as a protective mechanism. Holidays often amplify relational tensions. Families may have unresolved conflicts, old roles, or expectations that clash with personal growth. The anticipation or repetition of these interactions can trigger stress responses in the mind of someone who dislikes holidays. This isn't rebellion, it's self-preservation. Avoiding or minimizing exposure to triggering relationships is a form of emotional intelligence, not avoidance. Ultimately, hating holidays is often the brain's protective response. When previous experiences or heightened expectations make the emotional cost high, avoidance feels safer. The mind is not being negative, it's prioritizing survival, comfort, and stability. Understanding this shifts the narrative. Holiday dislike is not a flaw, but a signal. Recognizing it as such allows the person to explore strategies for coping, reframing, or reclaiming agency during these periods. One way to manage holiday dislike is to reclaim the holiday. This means intentionally redefining what the day represents. Instead of following social scripts, ask yourself, what would make this day meaningful or bearable for me? This could include quiet reflection, personal rituals, favorite meals, walks in nature, or spending time with chosen people rather than family obligations. Small, intentional actions can shift the emotional weight of the day. Another strategy is boundary setting. Avoiding emotionally draining situations or individuals doesn't make you selfish, it protects mental health. The brain benefits from predictability and control, and asserting boundaries reduces unnecessary stress. Saying no can transform the holiday from a source of dread to a source of calm. People who dislike holidays can also build new, positive associations. Engaging in meaningful experiences, creative projects, or acts of kindness during holidays shifts neural patterns over time. The mind begins to link holidays with agency, creativity, and calm, rather than stress, comparison, or obligation. Mindfulness practices also help. Observing emotions without judgment, noticing bodily tension, and consciously releasing it neutralizes holiday-related stress. Deep breathing, gentle stretches, or guided meditation before holiday events primes the nervous system to remain grounded, resilient, and less reactive. Gradual exposure to triggering holiday experiences reduces avoidance. Instead of diving straight into full family gatherings, start with smaller interactions, brief online participation, or partial events. This allows the mind to adjust and prevents overwhelm. Over repeated exposure, the emotional intensity diminishes, making holidays more tolerable over time. Ultimately, the antidote to holiday dread is personal meaning. What matters is not societal expectation, but your own emotional fulfillment. Engaging in activities aligned with personal values, whether solitude, creativity, or connection, replaces stress with significance. Over time, holidays can transform from a source of dread into an opportunity for intentional, authentic experiences. Remember, your experience is valid. You are allowed to define what a holiday means for you, not the one society expects, your version, calm, intentional, and meaningful.